Hi, everyone. My name is Mallory McClellan. I am an energy healing practitioner, medical intuitive, psychic medium, and autism mama. I am coming to you guys today to give you a free training on 5 ways to use flower essences for yourself and your family. But before we jump into the training, I just wanted to give you guys a small kind of bio on me so you understand why I have such a love and fascination with flower essences. And if you noticed, I added in all of my professional titles, and at the end, I also threw an autism mama. And so the reason why I throw that in is because this is why I'm doing what I'm doing today. This is why I know everything that I know about alternative medicine, energy healing, flower essences, essential oils, things of that nature, because my 7-year-old son has a diagnosis of autism. He was diagnosed when he was 2 years, 10 months old. And I decided that I was going to throw myself completely into the world of healing his body and giving him the best life possible, which led me down a path of holistic healing and eventually energy work when my intuitive gifts completely blossomed and opened up. And part of what I do is I work on families for the most part. A lot of those families happen to have children with special needs. And the parents come to me looking for telepathic messages, advice on their child's journey, advice on their child's path, advice on, just what their child needs, and all coming to me for that intuitive guidance that I can provide. But what's interesting is that oftentimes the parents are saying, work on my kid, work on my kid, work on my kid. And as soon as they start tuning into the child goes, no, you need to work on my mom right now, or you need to work on my dad. And one of the things that comes up the most for the children and for the parents is actually flower essences. Flower essences are an amazing, beautiful, super gentle, sensitive, yet powerful way to move energy, to clear patterns, and to help heal the body. And so it's one of my absolute favorite topics. It's something that I am very drawn to. I personally take flower essences almost every single day. I have some sitting right here right now. So this one is from Green Hope Farm. It's called Book of Life. Another one is from Green Hope Farm. It's called Bee Balm. A lot of you guys are probably super familiar with Bach flower essences, and those happen to be the most, I believe, the most well-known around the world. But we'll talk about some different companies, ones that I love, ones that I think that are amazing. And of course, if you guys know of any, then hit me up, send me an email, let me know. I'd love to be able to include that too. So let's just jump into the presentation. We're going to be doing the presentation as well as some training, some live tutorial right here, the two of us working together, really helping you tune into your child and tune into yourself, and using spiritual guidance to help you decide what flower essences are for you. And remember that anything that you learn in this training, you can then apply to essential oils. You can apply it to many different things. So let's jump in and get started. Okay. Screen. Yes. So thank you guys for bearing with me as I do this. So as you can see, the title of this is 5 Ways to Use Flower Essences for Yourself and Your Family with Mallory McClellan. And my website's listed down below, which is www.mallorymcclellan.com. So tuning in is the first thing that we want to do. First things first, we must tune into what flower essence is needed. There are a few ways to do this. One way that I put is through muscle testing. Another way is asking spirit, source, God for the answer. Let's jump into muscle testing. And the other thing that I want to say is pendulum testing. I often combine the two, but I know a lot of other people don't. So I didn't list it, but dowsing or using a pendulum, they're both excellent tools to use as well. Like I said, I kind of put it under the umbrella of muscle testing. But it's all good. It all works. So if you're a muscle tester, the first thing that you want to do is you just want to make sure that you're in neutral. A lot of ways that we do this is through breath work. So everyone right now, let's breathe together. Take a nice deep inhale And a nice exhale. Inhale and exhale. And as you're doing that, you're just letting go of your day. You're letting go of any preconceived notions you have, anything that is more of a force and not so much flow. We're letting all of that go with our breath. So just imagine it leaving your body. And let's all bring in the divine. Let's bring in that divine white light. So I want you to imagine the top of your head is opening up nice and wide. And imagine the sun, the central sun of the universe, this beautiful place of unconditional love. Whatever that looks like to you, imagine that above you. And now imagine pulling down all of that beautiful, divine, galactic, celestial energy. Pulling that down into the crown of your body and feel it move all throughout. Let's move that light down the spine. Feel it cascading over your skull, moving into the base of your neck, down your skeletal system, down that spine, and even just diffusing out all of that light. Continue moving the light down, down, down. Move it into your hip bones and your pelvis. Now let's move that light down your legs, down, down, down. Feel it coming out of the bottoms of your feet. And as you feel it coming out of the bottoms of your feet, imagine that you were standing on your favorite, absolute favorite place to be outside. Maybe it's a forest or a park or the beach, or in the ocean, wherever that is for you. Just imagine you there. Feel your feet in that element, the dirt or the sand. And as you do that, imagine that there are these big, beautiful tree roots coming out of the bottoms of your feet, connecting all the way down to the center of the earth. Feel it moving. Feel those roots piercing the center of the earth, anchoring on in. And as you do that, Mother Earth wants to give you her energy right now too. So move that energy up through your feet. Move it up all the way through your body, in your legs, your hips, your back, your spine, up into the sternum. Feel it go into your heart. Let that unconditional love, that grounding, the peaceful, earthly energy just mixing with your heart's vibration. Let's move that up into our throats, all the way up through the head, and then back out. And feel the energy just coursing through you from above and below. And once you've done that, and it feels good, and you feel like you're in your happy place, open your eyes, come back to center. Breathe your way. You can bring your awareness back into your heart. Feel your feet firmly on the ground. Whatever it is that you need to do to feel comfortable and back in your body again. If you're sitting down or laying down, you can even imagine yourself just really sink those sit bones, sink all of that weight into wherever it is that you're sitting or laying down. Yeah, beautiful. Great work. Okay. So I'm going to go over one really quick way to muscle test. There are plenty of them out there. The one that I use the most is called the arm length test, which I actually will not be demonstrating today, but there is a video on my website that you can find, and that is what I use the most. So that's another one that you can access. So in any case, going back to one of the methods of muscle testing, it's called the O-ring test. And that one is like this. So you make a ring with this hand and a ring with that finger, and then you're going to pull it yes and then no. And when it does no, it's a weak response. So it automatically opens up. So yes, no, yes, no. So that's one way to muscle test. And we're going to be utilizing that skill. So just for the sake of demonstration, and I'll demonstrate it once more, I am going to ask, is this flower essence the book of life in my highest good to take right now? So I get a no. You see how it just easily went through? The beautiful thing about muscle testing is that everything is everything is energy, so everything gives you an energetic response. When we get a response that's a no, it essentially means that it is weak for us, or it's not going to do anything for us to help us, which is why I got the no. But even if I didn't have it, I would still get the same response because I know exactly what I'm tapping into, because this is all universal intelligence that we're accessing. So yeah. So now I'm going to ask about this essence, and this is called the Sunflower Spiral, and that again is from Green Hope Farms. And I'm going to tap it, and I'll move the screen. So I'm going to tap this, and then I'm going to ask, is the Sunflower Spiral in my highest good? So I get a yes. See how it's tight? Nothing's happening. The other thing I want to mention about this muscle testing method is that the same exact strength that you're holding this together, you're going to hold that together. You know, like you're not going to make this one really weak and this one super strong. They're going to be the same exact strength or weakness, and then you're going to use it to test. So the next thing is, if you are not a muscle tester, that's completely fine. If maybe muscle testing is something that you find intimidating or you don't find it that helpful, that's okay. Oftentimes what you can do is you can use just your intuition, and you can ask whether it's spirit or source, God, creator of all that is, the universe, whoever it is that you tap into. You've already connected to that energy. You've already connected to Mother Earth, and you can simply ask the question, is this flower essence in my highest good or not? And wait to hear, see, or know the response of yes or no. Simple as that. Okay. So next, deciphering which essence to use. So there are tons of companies who sell flower essences. Here are some of my favorites that I've listed down below. Number one is Green Hope Farms. As you guys can tell, I've used quite a bit of them already. The second one is Bach Flower Essences. Number 3, Desert Alchemy. And number 4, Australian Bush Flower Essences. Like I said, there are many, many, many on the market. You guys can definitely Google and look up ones that you love. These just happen to be the 4 that I happen to use the most. So yeah, and like I said, shoot me an email. Let me know if you discover any new companies. I would love to hear more about it. For the sake of this presentation, we're going to use the Green Hope Farms website to demonstrate. So let me go to that really quickly. I'm going to move out of this, and then we are going to go to the Green Hope Farms website. Okay, so you guys can see how much I love it. I actually have 20 essences in my cart right now ready to be ordered, and I haven't done that yet. So the first thing that you want to do is you just want to set the intention of who it is that you're going to connect them with. So is this something that you are going to learn for are you going to be testing for yourself, or are you going to be testing for your child? And for the sake of this, just going through it really quickly, use yourself if that feels easier for you, okay? So the first thing that I do when I'm tuning into a child and I hear flower essence, or I know that they need a flower essence, I will then ask, well, which company do you want the flower essence from? And I'll ask Bach, Australian, Green Hope Farms, Desert Alchemy, any other ones that tend to pop up in my mind. Those are the 4 that we've listed for the sake of this demonstration. And let's say it's a Green Hope Farms essence that came up. If it's for myself, I already know I have permission to tune into me, okay? But if it's for your child, you're going to ask, do I have permission to tune into my son or daughter? Wait for the response for that. 99% of the time, you do have permission. So long as you are in neutral, you're connected with that divine energy, and you're just coming into this experience wanting to help. 9 times out of 10, you are going to have permission to do that. So don't worry about that part. So for the sake of doing the training, I'm going to use my son as an example. So I'm going to ask, do I have permission to test for Christians? The answer is yes. and then I'm going to go to find a flower essence. Once I go here, you can see on the side right here, there is categories. One is collections, another one is sets and trios, and another one is topics. Then we have animal wellness, additional essences, gift sets, and other products. So I'm going to say it out loud. So is it collections? Yes. Okay, so that's what Christian wants. We're going to go with it. And then you can see everything is listed. If you are not muscle testing and you're just kind of tuning in, maybe something stands out to you. Like the first thing that my eye was drawn to is the Healer's Toolbox. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Oh, sorry about that. So I'm going to ask, is the Healer's Toolbox in Christian's highest good? So I get yes. For the sake of the demo, I'm going to say, does he need something from the Animal Wellness Collection? No. Does he need something from the Bermuda Collection? No. Does he need something from the Camino Collection? No. Oh, it's a yes. Okay. Why did I say no at first? Any reason? No. I just thought it was going to be a no. Okay. So I'm going to tap in right now. For the sake of this demo, should I go with the Camino Collection? Yes. Okay. So we're going to go with the Camino Collection. Oh, the Healer's Toolbox. Okay. I'll come back to it. I'm not going to do it during the demo. Don't mean to mess up you guys. So then you can kind of see here, there's all of these listed, right? And there's a lot of them, so it would take time, especially if you're pendulum testing, to test each one. So you could say, is it R? Is it Arzua? Is it Boloro? Is it Fistera? Is it Galicia? Is it Hontanas? And guys, please don't mind me. Obviously, I don't know how to pronounce these things. But I'm going to use just my clear knowing, and I'm going to scan through and see which one stands out to me. So the one that's standing out to me for my son is the Santiago. And this, I love the descriptions. It's one of my favorite parts of working with essences. This one says, it's for integrity, for the moments when you experience false endings created by culture or society, when the internal journey is ongoing. It's an excellent flower essence for events like graduations, retirements, weddings, the completion of a task, the end of a trip, or any moment which has the energy of a finish line. Santiago reminds us that the journey continues even after moments of conclusion and closure. It sweeps us toward the next adventure with a sense of curiosity and a light heart. That's really cool. Let's see what's next. Like I said, first thing we did is we connected with your child's energy. Make sure that you ask permission. The second thing is that we ask questions that have a yes or no response. 3, you're going to use your psychic gifts to hone in on what's needed. So here we go. Next slide. Okay. So we're going to just go to that part. What is the most optimal way to use it? So I'm going to be asking, is it in the highest good for a Christian to ingest it straight? No. Is it in the highest good to add it to a drink? No. Is it in the highest good to combine it with essential oils? Yes. Should I combine it with essential oils by adding it to a diffuser? No. Should I combine it with essential oils by adding it to a roller bottle? Yes. Okay. We're going to go over this, but for the sake of the demo, we're going to go through it. So because I got that, one of the things that I create is intuitive oil blends, which happen to have crystals, essential oils, obviously, flower essences, and then just energetic infusions of different energy that's needed that maybe I don't have in the physical or I don't have an explanation for it. For example, I made one for my son, which for school, and there was like frankincense and orange and lavender and white angelica and a couple other different oils in there, as well as clear quartz and moonstone and amethyst. And the flower essence peach. And then it didn't feel complete to me, so I kept asking, well, what else is needed? And I heard he needs the energy of self-confidence infused in there. So if you just imagine, it was like I had taken, all right, self-confidence coming from the divine, whatever that looks like and feels like to Christian, and I'm going to infuse it directly into that roller bottle. So that's one of the ways that you can work with it. From there, because it's going in a roller bottle, I'm going to ask how many drops is needed to go in there. So for the sake of the demo, this is what it looks like. This is how it comes. And then you fill it up. And as you can see, there is the flower essence in there. And then, you know, how many drops. So you just ask in muscle test. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was 5. So obviously I'm not making a roller bottle. We're just doing the demonstration. 5 drops would need to go in his roller bottle or whatever I was making. Okay. But before we continue on with that, I want to talk a little bit about ways to use it. So the first way that I mentioned is ingesting it straight. So that would be just taking it, opening your mouth, and popping in whatever was needed. If you're going to ingest it straight, add it to a drink, combine it, any of the first 3, you want to muscle test how many drops or droppers are needed. So when I talk about dropper, I'm saying like the full dropper. So if it was 3, I would fill this up 3 times and drop it in my drink. If it's drops, then we're just going to drop it in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And you want to ask that if you're going to do any of the 3, whether it's ingesting it straight, adding it to a drink, or combining it with essential oils, either by adding it to a diffuser or a roller bottle. So if you're ingesting it straight, a lot of the kids don't really like the taste of it because they have a brandy or an apple cider vinegar base. So it's not the best tasting. When you add it to a drink, especially when you add such a little amount, you don't even taste it. Finally, combining it with essential oils, either by adding the flower essence to a diffuser or a roller bottle. In your diffuser, you obviously fill it up with water, you put oils in, and lots of times what winds up happening is you can just put a few little drops inside, and as it diffuses the oil, it's also diffusing the essence, and it's really beautiful. And if you're sensitive to energy, you can definitely feel the shift. The roller bottle, we already talked about that in the demonstration. Holding it, so this was something interesting that came up. I've known that this was a way you could use it, but I've never actually done it myself. But when I was tuning in to create this presentation, that's what came up, and it was really cool. So in any case, sometimes holding it is just enough. And this is like when we think about crystals, sometimes we just need to hold it. We have to hold it to certain parts on our body. Oh, the throat chakra. Oh, that feels good. The heart chakra feels amazing, right? With crystals, we don't bite it. We don't swallow it, right? We hold it and we feel that energetic shift happening. So why would it be any different with the flower essence, right? So those are the 4 ways to use it in the physical reality. Number 5 is energetically infusing it into yours or your child's energy field. So this is really cool. For the sake of the demo, I'm going to tune into Christian, and we're going to use the bee balm essence. So I'm going to move my monitor down so you can see. So if we imagine that we just want to tune in and give him the energy of this, what I imagine is I hold my hands over, and I imagine any energy from here is just, the energetic imprint is just flowing into my hands, and then I can feel it. And if you're a feeler, you'll be able to feel it too, right? So here I have it in my hands. And then I don't even need to be near him. I just envision him. And then I imagine like a gift, like sprinkling it and pushing that into his energy field. And wherever he needs it, he accepts it. And then energetically, he can do whatever he wants with it. A lot of times, what happens is if you have a child who's sensitive to energy, the energetic infusion does the trick, right? Because there's no side effect that goes along with it. It's just they needed the energy of it, and it's in its perfection. One more thing that I actually did not mention, but I want to talk about is if you have a child who's sensitive to supplements or anything, and maybe they can't ingest it, right? One thing that you can do is you can actually put some drops on the wrist. So this is something that I learned when my son was going through homotoxicology, which is homeopathic detox. And a lot of times, because his body was so toxic, we couldn't ingest things first. We had to do it on the wrist to see. So this is kind of funny, but here we go. So let's say it's on the wrist. So you see how I just put the drop on the wrist. It's traveling down my arm, but you can imagine rubbing that together. And again, if you're going to put it on the body, you want to ask how many drops of it is needed. You can even ask, is there anywhere else on the body that it's needed? Maybe it's not supposed to go on the wrist. You're really going to be using your detective skills. The reason why I'm creating this is because you guys have all the power in the world to heal your children. You have it right there with you. So because of that, you know, you have the power to give them exactly what they need to help them heal and to help yourself heal. This is just a baseline for you to be able to ask questions and, you know, ask smart questions that lead you down a path that's a little bit more direct, if that makes sense. Finally, if more than one essence is needed, you're going to test each one individually and get the correct dose. So let's say that the sunflower spiral was 3 drops and the bee balm was 4 drops, okay? In here I put, if your child tests for the peach flower essence, you'll ask how many drops. Let's say it's 7. If they also test for bee balm flower essence, you'll ask how many drops. 4 drops. So these 2 together, and then you're going to ask, is it in the highest good for these 2 to be taken together? Wait and see what you get. If you get a yes, then you can ask, okay, well, can they be taken together in a drink? Yes. Then you know you're going to put the 7 drops of peach and the 4 drops of bee balm. Let's say that it's okay to be taken together, but the bee balm wants to be on the wrist and the peach wants to be ingested. You're going to use all of your detective skills and ask really smart questions. If it's not in the highest good for those 2 to be taken together, then go further with it and say, okay, which one should be taken first, and see what you get. And again, you can muscle test, or you can hold your hand over it and see energetically which one you get the most magnetism to. And then you know that's the one that needs to be taken first. You can get really, really technical and specific with it and ask, is there a particular time of day? Is it supposed to be taken with food or without food? Meaning, you know, drinking their drink while they're eating food, and just see what you get. Energy is beautiful. Energy work is amazing. And so, you know, there are no limits. There are no limits. There are no boxes, and literally anything can come up. But I guarantee you, as your child's mother, you already know what they need and when they need it. Like I said, you're going to use your detective skills and you're going to ask smart questions. And, okay. Finally, if you want to continue working with me, you can join my Facebook group, Soul Driven Healing, to get even more training via live videos, tutorial, and intuitive guidance threads. Like I said, I am a medical intuitive, and every now and then I will do a big medical intuitive post where people will ask their questions, and I will give you the first response, the intuitive guidance that comes to me, and I let you know everything that they have to say. So you can visit me in person at various locations throughout the Chicagoland area. I also plan on traveling quite a bit in 2018. So anytime I'm in any city, you can find me there. I'll be posting about it. I'm very active in my Facebook group, on my personal Facebook page, and now in my newsletter. So you will get all the updates for that. Finally, you can visit my website, which is www.MalloryMcClellan.com, to take my classes, to work with me one-on-one, and just hang out and see what I'm doing. You know, my whole life and my mission is really about helping moms heal themselves and heal their families. So a lot of what I do is centered around that. Finally, open your newsletter emails to stay afloat of my latest offerings and creations. So I hope that this training was awesome for you guys. I certainly enjoyed doing this video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Find me on Facebook, visit me on my website, shoot me an email even if there's anything that you have questions about. I'm happy to answer them. I hope that you guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rest of your day, and namaste. Lots of love. Bye-bye.